me to be excited.
Yeah.
Why?
Because you should not be excited about this. This is work.
Hey! Did you wash your hands?
What's up, guys? Welcome back. My name is Damien.
My name is Kyle.
And I'm Alex.
We are Our Mind Center. We make short films and we review movies. And yet again, as always, as promised, we have another movie review. Tonight we went to go see The Maze Runner: The Death Cure. This is the third movie in the Maze Runner franchise. Alex, what's this one about?
So this one is about like finally finding the cure for this disease that we found out about in the second one. And there's a lot of stuff that goes along with that.
Yeah, so this is going to be a very, I think, difficult review for most of us, because I know Kyle hasn't seen these movies. Alex has seen the first one, then he jumps into this one, and I've seen the first one a lot, and I really like it, and I've seen the second one once. So jumping into this movie and in this review, this is definitely not going to be a fan review for this movie. We haven't read the books either, so take a lot, I think, of what we say.
We are the most ill-prepared group of people.
Yeah, I think take a lot of what we say here with a tiny grain of salt, because if you're a fan of this movie, maybe everything we say means nothing to you.
Doesn't apply.
However, we will review this movie based on how we felt in the movie during this one at this time. And I think that's good, because if you haven't, I think what I will say and how I will start is, even if you haven't seen those other movies, I think this movie's still a good watch. I think it's a perfectly fine movie to go in and see if you're looking for just an action movie of January.
Yeah.
The movie gives you no exposition whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And it isn't related to the other ones in the sense where you need to know these characters or anything like that. They just throw you in this. And they bring up some stuff, and you might think that they're going to explain it later, and they don't. But it works for that movie. And I think surprisingly so, and I could be wrong, I could be missing some great character moments or whatever, but what I think this movie does surprisingly fairly well is, even though it's a third in a franchise, doesn't alienate someone like me who doesn't care enough, or hopefully someone like Kyle who hasn't seen any of them. And I think that is because the action is so good. The directing in this movie is very good. Some of the ways that the action is directed is very cool, and it's very visceral and intense. Like I said before, it packs a punch. Like when the punches are thrown, it looks awesome. And whenever they're shooting, it looks awesome. And they find a perfect balance of making it seem gritty and real while also taking some liberties with it just to make a cool shot, which I am perfectly fine with. If you're ever making a movie and you're like, yeah, but we should do this because it looked cool, do it.
Like
because
that
it's
scene
probably
in,
going to look cool.
Like the scene in Kong Skull Island, where there's like the green smoke and he's chopping the
Oh
things.
yeah,
It's completely unnecessary.
It's so unnecessary, but it looks cool. And I think the action and the way that it is directed is a huge part of this movie. But I think for me, especially going back and saying like a lot of the characters you don't care about or whatever, I think Dylan O'Brien, the main character in this movie, does everything he can to make you not only care about him, but his journey in the movie and the action when he's in it.
Yeah, and I do care about Dylan O'Brien in this movie, but for me, the person that I think steals the show, and it's hard to say this because he doesn't have near as much screen time, is Newt. I think Newt is way. His name is Thomas in real life. I don't know his last name.
Yeah, he's in Game of Thrones.
Being,
Speaking of Game of Thrones, Littlefinger did a good job too.
Yeah.
But I think that he outacted Dylan O'Brien. Personally.
I don't know if I'd agree with that he outacted. What?
I thought you were my friend. I trusted
But I definitely like him as a character.
Yeah.
I always like seeing him and stuff.
I liked him a lot. I think just the whole movie was on Dylan O'Brien's shoulders.
So it's easy for him to look like the better actor.
Yeah, while also difficult, because he has to do that still.
Yeah.
He has to still
that's true.
act, and it's because there are some characters in this movie. I don't want to say any of the acting's bad. I think it's all good. Everybody comes to form.
Yeah.
But whenever somebody is next to Dylan O'Brien that isn't as good as him, you could see it.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it works with Newt, because he is also a good actor. So, and they're best friends in the movie. So they're on screen a lot.
Together.
And when that happens, you're like, whatever it is, whatever they've been through. They don't even have to show it to me. I get it,
Yeah.
and it makes sense.
Yeah,
and a lot of the times in this movie, there are plenty, because it's the third one, there are plenty of payoff moments for fans, character reveals that you can tell the director is making it a character reveal. There's a moment where a character takes off a mask and they give the audience a moment to go, no way! And a lot of them work.
Mm-hmm.
But here it comes. Here comes my criticism that I can't. Even if this movie was perfect, even if it was a 10 out of 10, I cannot, and I will not stand by it. I can't. The amount of ex machinas in this movie are so apparent that you can't. I'm gonna explain. Where you can't feel amounts of tension or anything because you know because they did it 12 times before that a character is going to appear out of nowhere and help somebody.
Dang
So
it, bro.
for those
That's my biggest negative.
for those
too.
of you, and it will be, I think, for anybody, an ex machina is when something happens in the plot just to help out the main character. There's no background for it. There's nothing like that. There's no explanation. They don't show it. It's just like, oh, hey, by the way, there's this. In the last act of this movie, which I think is incredible, which I think is epic, the last act in this movie, and also the score, towards the end of this movie, I was like, who does this? Because I'm going to look it up on my phone when I get home. The last act is so epic, and it's so intense, and there's a war going on, and you feel like you're in it. But it takes you out of it whenever you can't believe that something like that would happen. And I know I'm being vague because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's like, it's tantamount to somebody pointing a gun at the main character, and then he's like, I'm gonna do it. And then right before he pulls the trigger, somebody hits him in the head. I kid you not, guys.
yeah.
I kid you
Or
not.
runs over him with a car.
That's
Or they don't have any way out, and a plane comes, and they're like, need a ride?
yeah,
2 hours later.
It like takes like 3 points off this movie for me.
definitely.
Immediately, because it boggles my mind. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes you're like, oh, okay, that's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
And there is like 2 in this movie that I can think of on the top of my head that really work. But don't muddle it with 8 other ones in
I
a
mean,
30-minute span. Don't do it. It makes me mad.
Right at the beginning of the movie, they throw one at you.
Yeah.
It's almost every action scene has something like that, if not the very thing.
I didn't know there was a name for it, but that
Mhm.
was 100% my biggest negative. You've seen in 100 movies somebody do something like the protagonist does
I know.
something towards
Exactly what you-
towards the antagonist, or he like tries to shoot him or throw something at him, and he's like, "You missed." And he's like, did I? I hate those. Those are never good.
Such like a.
I think
You're
it
right.
was in
You're right.
Spider-Man: Homecoming. I think there was.
Yeah.
one. I hate it, dude. I hate. There's never been a time where I was like, "Oh, dude, witty."
It's intense. You guys just really smacked this movie apart with that Ex Machina crap.
Yeah, and
because
that's
that's ridiculous.
yeah. But let's
see it.
No, I did. I've also been trying to fight a couple sneezes the entire time, so.
Let's let them out, boys. It's nature.
Well, it's like not
It's
my
human
choice.
natural.
It's human natural.
All right, well let's rate this bad boy. I'm excited to do this because I think this movie is a perfect example of, like, to this day I still want to post another review of Kingsman: The Golden Circle because I regret that video. I lose
What a meme,
sleep.
dude.
I lose sleep over that video because I think, Damien, why did you do it? Why? And I forgot what I gave that movie, probably an 7 because I'm an idiot. That movie is bad.
An 7.
I fucking hate Kingsman: The Golden Circle. Because I didn't hate it, and I do think it's fun, 6.5. I fucking hate Kingsman: The Golden Circle. But what? Where do you draw the line? You know where I draw it? With 38 Ex Machinas. What I will say is, for me, on positive sides, the action is really great. Dylan O'Brien will be, I think, where Tom Cruise was like 10 years ago. Superstar status. Like, you
heard
go
the premonition here first.
you go see a movie because it has Dylan O'Brien's name on it.
Soon.
His like, just his nature, the way he moves.
Yeah,
He owns he owns the screen, and I think he saves a lot of this movie. And I think the last act is epic. That's when the director's come into form. That's when Dylan O'Brien is pushed to his acting test. That's when the score comes out of nowhere and is like, hey Damon, feel a little tinglies in your heart here. But the last act is ruined by, I'm not even going to exaggerate, maybe 10 Ex Machinas in the last hour. No, 30 minutes of this movie. 10 Ex Machinas in a 30-minute span. I can't rate this movie above a 7 and even above like a 6.5. I have to sit at a decent, because I'm battling with myself here. This is the first video where I'm a changed man. I'm going to give Maze Runner the Death Cure a 6.2. I think it is above average for young adult novel movies across the board. I think the action is very sleek, very cool. But damn it, if this movie's end didn't make me mad, because I'm watching it and I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You had me. I can't do it, guys. 6.2. I'm sorry. 6.2 Deus Ex Machinas out of 10.
It does have really good action, like really good action, and the CGI is great.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the acting is pretty good. There were some moments when I was like, okay, but it's just like a line, so I'm like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I'm not even gonna talk anymore about Ex Machinas because Damien took care of that. But I agree, 100%. Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. So I'm going to rate this movie 5.5 hooks out of 10. Because how many of those did they use?
It's just an action film. It's just the end of the series trying to tell you what's going on. I mean, it's the same thing like watching the third Matrix movie. I still love the Matrix, but nothing's going to beat the first one.
Yeah.
And with the Ex Machinas, how long the running time is, and the fact that I think it's just another run of the mill, I'm gonna give it a low rating, but I also think that it's much better.
Yeah,
Then
I want to stress
it
that too.
could be. Because go watch like the third Divergent movie or The Host that came out.
Yeah.
The vein that this is in, it is definitely the strongest swimmer.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm gonna be happy with that because I think if you like the Maze Runner series, you're gonna love this one, and hopefully don't beat it too much to death. But I'm gonna give it a 6 Spiderheads out of 10.
Hell yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. This one is definitely, I think, different from the other reviews that we have done before. And we've heard some criticism, constructive criticism from some of our friends saying that we might be a little too all agreeable. And I think we are all going to do our best to try our hardest to push away a lot of stuff and make sure that we are giving you guys good enough reviews, because we don't want you guys to watch this and be like, they like everything. Why are they doing this? Like, what are they doing? I mean, we're definitely not going to go into a movie hating it, but we want conversation. Like, I think this review was perfect because we were turning our heads and talking to each other while almost forgetting that we were reviewing the movie. And I think that's what we want as a channel, and I think hopefully what you guys want. And if that is the case, let us know in the comments. Leave a like on the video. And so you guys do not forget, my name is Damien.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Alex.
We are Our Mind Center, and as always, guys, the day after Valentine's Day, that Thursday, is Black Panther.
Yeah.
So that's when we're gonna go see that.
Then I turned 21 a couple days later.
Dude, I just can't wait for Mother's Day.
Why? Would you ever say that?
What is it called?
Breaking In.
Breaking in.
That movie, we're gonna go see that movie.
Oh!
Because
I
I
know
am
what you're
going
talking
to
about.
annihilate it. Breaking In,
No,
we
I'm
saw
gonna
the trailer. It's
annihilate
the African American
Mother?
mom. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen 12 of those trailers.
So I go on.
February movies?
Yeah.
The Death Cure. Oh,
I
okay.
tried to explain it to Megan to ask her if she'd seen it, and she
I
goes,
called it
"Oh
Mother's
yeah,
Day,
I've
too."
heard of it." And then she was like, "It's called Kidnapped, right?" And I was like, "No, that's the other one with the mom going after her kids."